Good morning, everyone. Welcome to AmericanScouser's Morning Coffee or Tea with AmericanScouser. It's Friday. We are reckless as can be. So reckless, even Anan is back in action. But Kazi's here. Kazi, what's happening?
It's a tremendous Friday morning, isn't it, gentlemen? I don't really know what you want to talk about. Not much happening in the Liverpool landscape, but there we are. Excited for West Ham at home.
Nothing new. Yeah. Nothing new happening. Nothing new happening.
Coffee tastes a little better this morning.
It does.
Anan is with us. Anan, where you been, man? How's it going?
It was Ramadan, so I spend a lot of my time up at night, and then I sleep during the day. And then when I wake up, if I wake up in a decent time like a human being, I go to work and I pretend like I'm working. So with that being over, I'm back, and what a day today. I know I'm going to just say it because you guys probably won't talk about it. But yes, it is Thiago's birthday. So happy birthday, Thiago Alcantara. What a day, man. I mean, it can't be a better day. I don't think anything else is happening other than Thiago's birthday, and we got West Ham, as he said.
Yeah, I mean, Thiago's birthday. Too bad he can't come to the party because he's probably hurt somewhere. But
what?
Is now official. We announced it. I just took this from
We did. Yeah, and Amazon Ramadan with Mo. Mo only checks his emails at night, and that's why it took so long. Because
Notice the timing. Right after Ramadan. So it's not just me. It's everybody that comes from where I come from.
Amazing.
Yes, so it's done. I mean, it's been the worst kept secrets over the last week or so, in terms of like it's about to happen and stuff like that. But it's not over till it's over. And I mean, Van Dijk will happen soon, and I will be right once again. Kazi, what do you make of this overall?
Relief, I think, more than anything.
Were you still worried, or is it until it's done, I worry kind of a thing?
I think so, mate. Yeah, when you see the actual statements that were coming out from like Ornstein, that like there's been a breakthrough, so it clearly tells me that there was an impasse for it to have a breakthrough. Like both, like Mo Salah's party was like, "I'm not budging," and Liverpool were like, "I'm not budging," and then clearly someone's blinked first, and now we've got to this, kind of.
Who do you think blinked first?
The club. I think the club realised that there's a bigger rebuild than they think. I definitely think Edwards and Hughes know that there's a bit of a rebuild still, and if Mo and Virgil stay, I think they still know they probably need to sign 5 players, and right now we can't afford to lose 20-odd goals. And I've said this for a while, mate. Listen, based on the bigger aspect, I'm so happy that Mo's staying. Mo's numbers are still right up there. Tremendous news. 2-year deal, fantastic. And what it's been saying, and I've said this to you guys all year, it buys Liverpool time.
Yeah.
And you've bought yourself time now. That's what you're paying for. You're paying for goals, but you're paying for time. You're paying for go and find the right guy instead of rushing to buy a shit guy, and then you've got to buy twice. Do you get what I'm saying? And go, he hasn't worked out in 2 years, and you've got to go and buy another one where you can just buy once kind of thing. And that's what this is now bought. Yeah. He has shown loyalty that I would never thought would ever come from a foreign player like this in terms of being at Liverpool. And let me paraphrase that. When you actually look around the Premier League, they always have this destined desire to go to the Real Madrid or Barcelona. That's the dream for most of these players. The club who kind of changed that for me was Man City in terms of keeping Aguero for so long and De Bruyne. And I always thought Aguero would go after 2-3 years. I was like, he's destined for Real Madrid or Barcelona. He'll go.
Especially, yep.
And I think he went to whatever he did in the end, kind of thing. And he gave him the prime years of his career. I always thought Mo is just showing loyalty beyond his wildest dreams. He's never been interested in those type of moves. He's never hinted at playing for those type of clubs. He's never even mentioned it staying at Liverpool. Like, this is like his thing. And to show that kind of loyalty to us is just more love than beyond, again, his wildest dreams. Definitely turned down more money from the Saudi League, let's just say, to stay at Liverpool. So, over the moon happy, brilliant. He's kind of on a bit of a barren run, someone said, because he hasn't scored or assisted in 4 games, which is, by the way, his longest run in 4 years, which is absolutely wild, isn't it? That's his longest run. Because I was watching the press conference this morning with Slot, and do you know where they have the pre-match stats? And it comes up at the bottom. And it said, literally the first stat was Mo Salah hasn't scored or assisted in 4 games, his longest run in 4 years. I was like, oh, wow. And then the next one was, Luis Diaz has scored or assisted in the last 4 games, his longest run for the club. And I was like, there we are. Like, that's basically why I'm just not, that's not really digging at Diaz. That's just the level that Mo's at. That's just the level of what
Yeah.
he's the best player in the world in the position. He's one of the best forwards in the world, and I am over the moon happy. And what a boost, by the way, going into the West Ham game after losing to Fulham last week. We knew the West Ham game was going to be big at home. But look at the boost now for the fans. Look at the boost. Look at that moment when he touches the ball for the first time. I think the crowd's going to be even another level again.
Yeah, I was going to ask you guys that. I would think it's going to be a huge boost too, and it's almost like we saved the Van Dijk one for the next game against Leicester or something like that. Yeah, just like slowly injecting them, kind of a deal. But I mean, obviously, it does buy you time, and not only buys you time. I think knowing, okay, like these two guys. I mean, they're freaking old, right? I mean, this is their last contract they're going to do with Liverpool. So we've always talked about going after young guys who might not want to come here because they don't want to sit behind Van Dijk or they don't want to sit behind Mo and stuff. Well, when you bring a new guy in now, whether it's this offseason or next offseason, I would think it should be easier because they know, well, this guy is leaving. So, I'm going to get some time now. Eventually, I'm going to replace him altogether. So it should help recruiting in the summer for replacements for these positions, for one. Not only that, guys who are going to come in who know Mo is still here, Van Dijk is still, the key parts of this team are still going to be here. This team is still going to be good.
Yeah. I mean, it's like an onion, and there's so many layers to it right now. Initially, everybody was like, "Are they going to leave?" We knew that 2 are staying, 1 is leaving. That was we've been saying this on this show specifically. Kazi has said this for like the last, since really their contracts were up and they can talk to other clubs. He has said 2 are staying, 1 is leaving. And we all knew who the one leaving is. And then the club started looking at it in a way of, okay, 1 is leaving. If the other 2 leaves, again, so many layers, fan backlash, a bigger rebuild, more money to spend, more risk taking. We're losing a 30 goal and assist season kind of player, and we're losing our captain. So it led to where we are today. Mo stays, Verge stays, and then obviously Trent leaves. Who cares at this point? But then we look at it in a different way. This offseason, any young players coming in, like you said, they'll look at it in 2 ways. 1, Mo is still there, so I can learn with him. I can play with him. I can play with one of the best ever. But 2, when he goes in a year or 2, now I'm getting the starting position. Yeah. So the club has made the right decision. I think the club did budget at the end, and they said, okay, what do you want? We'll give it to you. But the report that I was just reading before hopping on is the club didn't break the wage structure to renew both contracts, which means they stayed within their structure. But then this FSG mouthpiece who came out and he's like, yeah, and FSG did it right because they waited till the end, because if they didn't wait till the end, then the players would have started talking to other clubs because they see an offer. Dude, stop being a mouthpiece. The club FSG almost fucked up, and they're very lucky. Mo is extremely loyal, that even in the interview where he spoke about Real Madrid, he laughed and said, don't start rumors, I don't want to go there. So this guy is so loyal that he's a step ahead of the media. And he's come out in 4 different post-game interviews and said how much he wants to stay in the club. And then the same with Virgil. So FSG is, okay, thank you, renewing their contracts, but that was a given. That should have happened. And now we see what happens this summer. Because here's my biggest fear. Oh, we can't sign that many players. We just re-signed Mo and Verge. We just spent this much money on their contracts. If that happens, we got a problem. Way bigger than the contract situation.
I don't think so. I mean, I was waiting for Kazi to come up with the anti-FSG thing, but it came from me. I don't think that's
anti. I'm just speaking from history.
I think it makes it that it gives you time to address the bigger, more urgent problem. Your left back, your right back, and stuff like that, like the type of players you want to get, and then it punts away your replacing these guys at least a summer, based on their history. I mean, you can have like reliable backups and stuff like that, but you don't have to have the guy to replace him this summer. So you can focus on, maybe getting another person like a midfield, your left back, your right back, and stuff like that. So in some ways, yes, it does affect the budget, Kazi, how much you're going to spend, but it limits it in terms of you don't have to blow up everything and sign 9-10 new players.
What it does say, I don't think it's budgeting. I don't think it's money. I think Liverpool will spend a lot of money in the summer because I just think they have to. I don't think they have a choice. I just think it's like you have to now. You didn't spend last year. Liverpool are going to win the league. There's more money to spend. I think Liverpool know this. But what this does do, Tim, going back to the question that you asked, Anan, if I'm a number 9, if I'm Isak, there's two questions I want to ask Liverpool. Number one, I want to win now. Well, Liverpool are going to say, well, we want to win now because that's how we're going to work. And then number two, if I'm Isaac, I go, I want to play with Mo Salah because I've seen all the sisters that Darwin Núñez has missed for 2.5 years and I'll put them away for you. And I look like a world beater. So he wants to now play. Do you get what I mean? That's what, if you want to sign a centre-half in the summer, for example, Joe Gomez, Jory's out, we expected him to leave. Let's say Kanate, for me, the jury's always been out on him. He has a year left on his deal. Is he signing? I do not want to go through this again. Kwanzaa's a young kid. So if Liverpool want to go and sign a centre-half, you're playing alongside Virgil van Dijk for 2 years. Do you know what I mean? And by the way, you make Kanate the captain of his country at one point. Like that, you know what I mean? Yeah. And so that's what they can do to your career. That's what they can elevate. If you're a left back, if you're Kirk, you go, I want to play alongside Van Dijk. I want him to talk to me. You know what I mean? He makes me look like a world beater. So that's the other part. That's what they do. But going back to your main points, I just think the buying time part, you're not paying for the player in terms of just the goals and assists. You're buying time. So, for example, if Mo Salah falls off a cliff in 12 months, they might go, Mo, £60 million bid's come in. He scored 9 goals last year. Didn't work out from the Saudi League. Thanks, but no thanks. Been a wonderful career. We all shake hands.
Yep.
And that's what Liverpool, you put the club back in control. That's what it has done. It's put the club back in control of Mo Salah's destiny in that sense. Because next year is your oyster in terms of next year. If Mo Salah does fall off a cliff and he does get old and looks awful and whatever happens, the club can do that. But it's just now, we can concentrate now in terms of Mo at least. There's other positions on the pitch that need improvements massively. And I don't think it's... Listen, the FSG thing, by the way, of what thingy, I don't think FSG have any idea. I think I do think it's Hughes and Edwards basically who's having most say. Yeah, it's hard to say that's John Henry. I do think it's Hughes and Edwards, and if they get 2 out of 3 over the line, great. But I do think it's the club that's blinked him. But I know what Anne's saying in terms of they haven't broke the wage structure, but I think there's been a fat signing on bonus. I think there's been like, we're not going to give you, we'll give you money up front, but we're not going to break our wage structure here. Do you know what I mean? So this is a very easy one to explain to. Again, I keep saying this, the strongest player at Liverpool Football Club right now is Kanata. He's literally the strongest player at Liverpool Football Club, and no one realises why. Because you can just sit there and wait for Virgil to sign, then go, boys, how much are you boys on? I'm 25 years of age, and I'm going to negotiate my new contract. Whoop, whoop.
He's like what? They said 300. I mean, the details have not come out yet on the contract, but the rumor is 350,000 somewhere.
What it was on,
which is, does not wait. But there has to be something either as bonuses. I don't know if it's a sign-on bonus, but it has to be some bonuses in terms of like winning things or whatever it might be, goals or something like that gets it over the line. One thing that Mo did say, Anan, is as a reason of staying is that this team is going to be good for like the next 2-3 years. So do you think that's part of the conversation with FSG, Edwards, whoever, like what's the game plan over here? So I took that as good news coming from Mo, because we know Mo, that's more important to him than the extra $25,000, extra $50,000 in the wage.
Yeah. I think I'm going to feel like a teacher because I'm going to give more numbers now, but there's numbers to this. Like, first and foremost, he loves the club. It's a loyalty thing. He wants to stay here. 2, he said it. His daughters, his kids care, especially Mecca, who specifically didn't want to leave because she said this is her school and her friends are there. 3, this guy is trying to break the Premier League scoring record. Whether we agree or not, this guy is going for it. He's very individualistically caring about these numbers, and I love it because that makes you know this guy wants more goals. He's not a Núñez, just give me 1 goal and I'm back, baby. No. He wants 90 more to be the number 1 guy.
Núñez. How long we have come, man?
He wants that number 1 spot. So there's so much in it for him. But also, I fear, quote me if I'm wrong, I've never sat down through a contract negotiation with a footballer, but I'm pretty sure they said, Mo, also, if you stay and you take this amount of money, we're going to strengthen the squad. We're going to be better because next year we want to win the Champions League that we lost and the league. And so I think they do this, at least in Football Manager. I used to do it, the game. I don't know if that's real life or not, but I'm sure they told him, buddy, don't worry. We're going to work on making this a better squad. Maybe they said, and we need a left back and a right back. So don't worry. This squad is going to be good. So he came out and said, this team's going to be good for the next 2-3 years. And Mo still believes he's at the peak of his career. And it's hard to disagree when the guy is dropping this many goals and assists and he's leading for the European Golden Boot. So, yeah, they told him this team's going to be better. We're only going to continue to get stronger. It's the first year with this manager, guys. This is something he's thinking about. If it's the first year with this manager, imagine how the future is if we're winning the league in his first year. So overall, I think it's good. And now, love Mo. Now I'm more like, what's happening with Verge? When are we going to announce that? Because I'm like, I'm a panicky kind of person.
But here's the thing, Kazi, the whole Mo thing, what I like about it is it's a huge thing for Slot as well. That these two guys, I mean, they could have just been, if we won the title and all these guys left, you could, people would say, oh, they saw the writing on the wall. This was lightning in a bottle, Klopp's team and stuff like that. I think both of them staying. I mean, we knew towards the end Mo and Klopp were not probably seeing eye to eye and stuff like that. But I think it's a huge thing for Slot because I think it also shows these two guys trust in what they're seeing and what they see will happen in the future. Not like, oh, we were like finishing the end of the ride kind of a deal.
I also got to say, those two guys probably never considered leaving regardless of manager. I just want to put that out there. I just don't think they ever thought about leaving, but go ahead, Kazi.
But if Liverpool finish 6th this year, they're leaving, aren't they? If it wasn't
definitely.
But they've seen something there where you go, we've lost the League Cup final, ran out of legs, whatever it is, and we were challenging on 4 fronts. Let's just say, the Plymouth game's the Plymouth game, that can happen. But and then you lose to a very good PSG side, and that's football. So you want to show that you can compete, and what the manager's at least done. And again, the jury's out for a little bit on the manager in terms of I don't know what a style of players. In terms of, I don't know if he's just playing a certain style because the squad he's built on. We don't know what a Slot signing looks like. He might say bring 5 new players and Liverpool playing 3 at the back next year, and you'd all go, fucking hell, what's going on here? We have no idea. I just don't think we have any idea. But what I think it is a massive thing for the manager because I thought this a lot. Mo Salah and Virgil van Dijk are the 2 best players that the manager's ever worked with or ever played with. And it won't be close. Yeah. They are the best players he's ever seen. It's
not the best players Premier League has ever seen.
Exactly, this is what I'm saying, and it's not like that's not a dig on the manager. Jurgen Klopp had worked at Dortmund with Lewandowski and stuff. Like he'd worked with big players. This manager hasn't. This manager must have walked in and went, "These are freaks," and like I want to work with these forever. Like these are amazing, and it does show that little bit of faith. I think the other positivity, gents, which I do think about a lot, is, of course, you're buying the goals and assists from Mo, and that's amazing and stuff like that. His leadership, his professionalism in the dressing room. Do you know what I mean? Of like, you can see his body on him. Like, he's so professional. Like, you see his post that he puts on Instagram where, he scored 2 in a game and he's sitting in a sauna at 11 p.m. for his body. Do you know what I mean? Because he's just like...
He's like...
Oh, yeah. It's more the wife, to be honest, not me. But, yeah, but you look at that kind of professionalism and you're just like, that's... It's so hard to even buy that, and especially in today's dressing rooms. It's so hard looking at like United's dressing room, for example. I don't think you see players doing that. You get what I mean? Where you have those leaders, and we do have those kind of players. So it's just brilliant, man. I'm so relieved. I'm so happy. And if Mo Salah needs, if Liverpool or Mo Salah need a boost towards the end of the season from this little bit of a sticky patch that we're in right now, this is the biggest boost that you can ever get, isn't it?
I mean, the thing with Mo, I agree like wholeheartedly because I've seen and heard so many players say it, like guys like Jones and Elliott and stuff like that, in terms of what they have learned from Mo. And it's the professionalism. You got to take care of yourself. You got to watch what you eat and stuff like that. And on the other side, Van Dijk, which is going to be done, Anand, so don't you worry about it.
Yeah.
But I think it's like he has grown into the captain role. We talked about this earlier in the year, a lot more than the past, where he has become that captain. It just didn't feel like it last year. It was almost like he was just carrying the band. But now your captain is staying, your leader is staying, so it should be a lot easier to recruit players into the positions that you need.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's a big picture, and these two are just step one to what we hope for to be a continuous in the summer. Whether it's Kirkes, whoever, whatever, whenever, whenever it is, as long as we use this as a base. And even the players that are interested, by the way, are looking today. Kirkes is liking all the Salah posts to go look. People like that are looking, okay, you know what? This team means business. They're keeping their superstars. They're keeping their top players, and they want to get better. This is a league-winning team that wants to get better. That's a scary sight. If you're already the best team in the league and you want to be better, I want to be a part of it because this sounds very ambitious and it sounds like you want to continue to improve the squad. So Vert stays, Salah stays, and we go on and we strengthen the squad with 3 or 4 more signings is what I'm hoping for. This could be an unstoppable team. This could be a force to be reckoned with, and this could be the team to beat in Europe next year. So one can only hope, one can only pray. And FSG, you guys got a Netflix show now. Apparently, it's bringing in a lot of money. The Boston Red Sox look okay, so the money's there. Spend it. That's all I ask.
There's 2 things here as well, though, Tim, about the Salah, the Salah situation. Is number one, Salah and Virgil probably think in the next 2 years we can sneak another league title because Man City is still going to go through a rebuild. We don't know what Man City we're going to get. Pep Guardiola might be gone in, I think it's another year or something, whatever he's got left on his deal. Arsenal we're unsure on. Everyone's unsure on Arsenal. They probably think, fucking hell, if Mo Salah just dragged this to a league title now, we can probably do it again and quickly. You can shotgun this again quick. What I'm getting at is if you roll into next season, before Christmas, you could be 12 points clear again, 15 points clear again, before everyone's figured out the shit again, before Man City figured out their garbage, and then you can sneak another one. Do you get what I mean? And then number 2, which is something that as no one's mentioned, Ben Doak can come back off loan if you really fancy him, because he was doing really well at Middlesbrough before his injury, and you go to Ben Doak, you'll be on Mo Salah for 2 years, and you'll be 21, 22, and let's see what you're about. You can give him the League Cup games, you can give him, you know what I mean? There's minutes there is what I'm getting at if you're Ben Doak. There is minutes there because Mo Salah is now playing every 90 still. We're hoping in the next 2 years he shouldn't be playing every single 90 minutes. If Liverpool are 3-0 up in games, we should be allowed to take Mo Salah off. And you know what I mean? And then, so there's minutes there. So if the club believe that Ben Doak is the real deal and they think he is a real, let's find out. Because, right, I watched the international games and he was turning up for Scotland on the international scene. Middlesbrough were just raving about him. They couldn't believe how good he was. So let's find out. It reminded me a bit when Harvey Elliott went on loan to Blackburn, and everyone was like, "Fucking like you read all the Blackburn reports, but he's unbelievable, he's a joke." Do you know what I mean? That it's got that vibe about that loan, and it what's happened to Ben Doak. It has that vibe of he could be a real player for us. So that could be Liverpool's option going forward next year. Where we go, don't worry about it. We'll just give him a chance for 2 years and see where he's at. So.
I don't know, but I'm not totally sold on Ben Doak, mainly due to the injury record, and I don't know if he's.
Agreed.
I mean, Mo is not a big dude, but he's a strong dude. I don't know if Ben Doak will have that, and we'll learn that from Mo to be able to play with a small body frame and stuff.
You need to find out, I think.
We were talking about this, I think, on Monday, and then Monday morning and night, I think. That's not a conversation to be had as you're negotiating, but you would think that would be a conversation that they have this summer when Slot sits down with him and says, dude, look, every March and April, you're going through the same thing. So what we're going to do this year is, we're going to take you off 20 minutes to go, 10 minutes to go, rack up some minutes so you don't have you don't get tied at the end of the season. I think that's a conversation that can happen. And as long as, that conversation has happened, you won't have them all throwing a fit as he's coming off.
I'll be amazed if Mo Salah starts more than 5 Champions League games out the 8 in the group stage. Because I think Liverpool have kind of learned the lesson anyway. That if you finish top,
make a difference, yeah.
If you finish top, it doesn't really fucking matter anyway. You might play someone boss anyway. And as long as we do enough to finish in the top 8, do you get what I mean? And I think you can manage his minutes that way as well. You know what I mean? That's another part of this. I think you can manage minutes that way. It's not just taking them off in Premier League games. It's more the fact of what games can. I say this all the time, gents. Mo Salah shouldn't have to start Southampton at all. I know Liverpool going through a sticky patch, so he did, and he scores 2 pens, and whatever happens in the game happens. He shouldn't have to start against the bottom 4 at all. Yeah. He shouldn't have to start him. You can pick 8 games probably this season where he didn't have to start, 7 games. You can probably pick them and go, he didn't have to start those games. Let's get it right as well again, gents. Liverpool in the Charity Shield, probably. Liverpool season starting a week early.
Yeah.
Do you want do you want him to play in the Charity? Does it matter? Does he want to win it? I don't know. I don't know what is. But
Arteta likes winning those.
You know what I'm saying? Arteta. Yeah. What did he say? I've won 3 titles here. The FA Cup, Charity Shield.
I don't think he has much of a choice.
Jesus Christ. But you know what I mean?
My thing about the slump part is, I think, especially this latest slump, if you will, Anand, over the last 2-3 weeks and stuff like that. We've all been in situations, in professional life where things are going good, but then there are some hiccups and you're like, yeah, this shit is going to go down eventually. You can kind of see the writing on the wall. I just like that, if Mo is staying, Van Dijk is staying, they're seeing a a much brighter future in some ways, whether like Slot's attitude or what they're doing in practice, whatever it might be, they kind of like the work environment where it's headed. Because I think that's when you sign a contract and say, okay, I'm going to be in this another 2 years because you like where it's going, not just where it's at right now. I feel like that's why it's a huge boost for Slot more than anyone else. I mean, obviously for Edwards and stuff, for the reasons we talked about, buying time. But it's a huge boost for Slot in terms of, one, recruiting other players, saying, look at these two guys. But not only that, it's just, I feel like it's a lot of validation when a Mo and a Van Dijk and stuff says, yep, he's the man, we're staying over here.
Yeah, 100%. Your two superstars are still have faith in you, even if you're going through a slump, which I still believe is just tired legs. You're going through a slump, and our slumps and other people's slumps are different. Still on top of the league, still winning games. Yes, we lost one, but that's our only second loss in the league, so it's not the end of the world, right? But even then, when the whole world is like, oh, are the wheels falling off? Your superstars are like, this team's still going to be good for the next 2 years. I'm staying.
Yes.
Oh, but the Saudis gave you 700,000 a week compared to 300. I'm staying. It's huge for the club. It's huge for the fans. But yes, a new manager who has two superstars who still believe in him. And by the way, I think Mo becomes vice captain next season. I think it's part of the contract. We'll see. I genuinely believe that was a part of the discussion because Slot wants two leaders. The captain of the Netherlands and the captain of Egypt are leading your club. It makes sense, but we'll see. But I do believe it's a part of the whole big picture for Mo because he wasn't very happy last time when it was Trent. And I think it's him now because he's shown the loyalty. He's shown he deserves it. Ghazi said it, professional leader. This is a guy who finishes the game. It's done at 11 p.m. He's still in the sauna. He's doing everything a professional does. I think he deserves it. I hope he gets it. I think it's a part of the contract, but we'll see. This is just Egyptian theories right now.
I mean, he probably deserved it anyway, to be honest with you. I mean, it was probably more, I know like the whole Trent thing and why and all that kind of stuff, but he probably deserved it more anyway. And honestly, all the other guys that we were thinking about are kind of like, Robertson and stuff like that. All tenors would not be. But here's the question over here, Kazi. Is it also validation for what Edwards and Hughes have going, that these guys have bought into that, because everybody is like,
it's a great question.
How they, negotiations, FSG screwed this up, blah, blah, blah. But the fact that these guys are signing at the end, is it also validation for them a little bit that these guys have faith in what the game plan is?
100%,
the process, as they call it over here in the US.
Yeah, 100%. I think. Listen, mate, I'll, I'm the first one who can beat the club over the head. I will, but you give them the flowers when they deserve it. If they can get both of them over the line, the two main lads, and that's all I care about. Do you know what I mean? Okay. So that's the main thing. But there's also a part when we know this, when you get to a certain level in the sport, like Mo Salah and Virgil van Dijk have, in terms of leadership at the club, they probably ask those questions of going, what's the plan in the summer? And they probably have to share some of the plan. They probably have to, before I commit my future, I want to win now. Are we going to win now? You know what I mean? And then I'm assuming Edwards and Hughes will have to share some of the plan going, we're looking at 5 players. Great. You know what I mean? Okay, that's exactly what I feel like we need. And they probably would have been that kind of chat because that's what happens at football clubs. You know what I mean? There's that famous thing when Wayne Rooney walked into Alex Ferguson's office when he saw Ronaldo and Tevez and went, what am I doing here? What are you doing? And you signed Owen and Obertan, Michael Owen and Obertan. So you get to that level. But listen, the club deserve credit if they get them both over the line. And it looks like Virgil could be on the precipice of being done as well, which is what we want, and get that confirmed. And to be honest, Tim, I wanted this just both buried because I want to just concentrate on the footy again. Because Liverpool have a league title to win, and Liverpool, to me, look like they're dragging their ass in footy matches. Yeah. So it's we all need to drag them over the line, and the fans need to give us a boost, and we need to get all back to this positivity. Because I want to enjoy Liverpool winning the league title. Do you know what I mean? I'm telling you. But I want to enjoy Liverpool winning the league title, Tim. I don't want sideshow stories happening. I can't be bothered. I said this to you, Tim, back in September about the long goodbye thing.
Yeah.
I didn't want a long goodbye. We just had it with Klopp, and I didn't want another long goodbye. I've had enough of this sentimental, this sentimental in my club, really. All this sensitive nonsense and all. It's all love affair. This is a business at the end of the day. Mo Salah, as much as I adore him and everything that he's done for my football club, he's getting paid $400,000 a week to do it. Right? It's not like he's doing this for free. He's doing this because it's a business. And I want Liverpool to show some ruthlessness when it comes to this. I didn't want long goodbyes. I didn't want, it's Mo Salah's last ever derby. It's Mo Salah's last ever trip to Old Trafford. I can't be arsed. I can't be bothered. We had it last year with Klopp, and to be honest, it drained me. It drained me down.
I think it drained the team, not only you.
Exactly, and I think it probably affected that team.
So
that's the main thing.
Let me ask you guys this then, and just shout it out. Odds of Trent saying "fuck it, I'm staying."
I think I said this on the Thursday show after all this thing come out. I said I still think he's going to stay.
You know, I'm gonna say this is ridiculous. The photo I sent yesterday, asking if this is Photoshop, it's real. He walks in with a Firmino book in his hand, a Gerrard book in his bag. He's sending mixed signals. That little shit.
I mean, what is that? Everybody was trying to read in. What is the signal that he?
So Firmino's book. There's a huge part of Firmino's book talking about loyalty to Liverpool Football Club. Literally, a huge part of his book is that. And then Gerrard's book is just Liverpool. It's just Gerrard. Like there is no other explanation. Now, I'm gonna say it because I like the kid and I want to stay positive. I think there's hope that he's staying, and I think the Madrid conversation may not have gone as well as he wanted because the initial report from Fabrizio said he's going to be the second highest paid right back in the world. And then Marca came out and said he's just getting paid an average $215,000 a week. It's nothing special. We don't know where this highest paid guy ever, and he's going to be a squad player. So I don't know, but there's hope. There's faith, and I think the kid might stay. It's unlikely.
Do we want him to stay at this point?
Yes, if we can keep him, yes.
Force him. Stop it. If Trent, listen, lad, you've noticed Liverpool in the last few games. Liverpool can't beat a press. Liverpool can't get out. Canate and Virgil can't pass out.
Yeah, but I mean, you had a right back playing, a midfielder playing right back. I just don't like, especially the way he's staying. Like, it would be one thing if he stayed, and I'd be like, okay, cool. But for him to be like, no, I know he didn't say it, right?
But he didn't say nothing. He never came out
in the background, and then he's like, I guess it's not as good.
But you know how the media works. They want to get him paid. I'm sure.
There's two parts to this. There's two parts to this. Trent Alexander-Arnold hasn't said a word. Number two, if you're Trent, you want to be done last because you want to know what they're getting paid.
You're the youngest too.
You're the youngest, and you're going to go on 25. Commit my career to you. They're on 350 grand a week. I want to be on 320. If that happens, that's what you want to say, and that's it. So there could be that.
That's not going to happen, though, is it? I hope to God it doesn't.
The third thing is what benefits Liverpool. Wait there. It's what benefits Liverpool. If you give them 320 grand a week for 5 years, Tim, you can sell them next year. Why can't you sell him? If you put the power back in the club's court, we just did it.
If Real didn't want him now, Real is gonna even pay for him now.
I think.
You think Trent is like, man, this is really looking shitty on me. Why don't I sign a contract then leave?
So that I don't. If he does that, I'll be happy. Even that, I'm happy with. Coutinho did it. Suarez did it.
The way Trent was at times this year on a regular basis. Do his teammates, more importantly than us. Do his teammates want to watch that guy?
I think so.
His teammates want to watch Trent. His teammates want Trent in that team, just on the ball.
Salah wants team right behind him. Salah wants Trent right behind him.
I want Trent on the team when Trent is playing as well. I'm talking about the Trent of this year when he looks at times like he's already.
Believe it or not, the last 5 games, Salah looked just as bad. And
I thought Trent.
Here we are.
I thought Trent was really good defensively up until Christmas. I thought he was really good. I actually thought he was. You were complimenting his defending.
Yeah, he was better at some games
after Christmas,
but then he checked out.
Yeah, after Christmas,
against PSG was magical.
Yeah, I thought he was great against PSG. I thought he was building into the game before he got injured.
Yeah.
And I thought we missed him like a hole in the head against Newcastle in the cup final. And I thought we missed him again against Fulham. And not just because we lost, but because Fulham are pressing us and we can't pass out. What we used to do is just pass to Trent, and Trent would just throw a 70-yarder to Luis Diaz's foot.
Yeah.
And then we go 25 yards further forward and Liverpool on the counter. We haven't got that. We haven't got a player in the team who can pass like him.
But here's the thing. I mean, you said it earlier. This is how we're playing right now because this is what we have.
So we don't know. That's what I'm saying. We don't know.
I mean, that could be like next year. The plan could be like, instead of Trent, we have this guy and we play like this. You know what I mean?
Could be a part of this. I want the power to be given back to the club, not the player. So if Liverpool decide in 18 months and give him a 5-year deal, going, you're not for us, fella, you're going,
you just talked about Konate. If you give Trent 320 now, what are you giving Konate?
I'm not saying it's going to be 320.
I'm just saying that that's why I wouldn't give that much is what I was saying.
No, but that's what Trent could ask for. Trent could ask for that. He might not get it, but he might go, I want to be. That's a negotiation. That's a negotiation tactic, isn't it? That he can have.
All I'm saying about Trent.
I wanted to protect the club and the asset. And the way you do that is give him a new contract, and then gives all the power back to the club if you want to sell him in 2 years.
And
That's
Trent
what you
still
want to do.
has another contract in him. Salah and Verge don't. Trent has still another contract in him.
So
if Trent signs it 4-year, he's only 29.
This is the biggest contract that Trent will ever sign in his whole
career. It is, because
it
is the prime contract that he's going to sign.
It's a 5-year contract, prime 25. This is your contract. This is the biggest contract he'll ever sign in terms of money.
Yeah.
Probably. But if he does 2-3-year contracts, right? He would be 27.
If he's either signing 4 or 5. If he does 2 or 3, he might as well fuck off.
I think he's going to do 4 or 5. I think the club can't be asked.
2 or 3, fuck off. Yeah, 2 or 3, fuck off. If
it's
4 or 5, I understand.
That it is the biggest contract. I'm saying he might think, hey, I still want one more contract. I don't want to finish it off when I'm 25. So do a 2-3-year contract. So at 28 years old, somebody can give him really, really high wages because they're getting, a prime. I know the prime has become more like mid to late 20s. It used to be like more like late 20s.
It used to be 26 to 31. They used to always say 26 to 31, but do you think it's moved to like 28 to 32 now? Do you think that's like a 4-year player's prime? 28.
Keep in mind, he's a right back. Defenders tend to play longer, so this is another thing. But here's how I look at it. If I'm Trent, I'm Trent. It's a World Cup season coming up. Do I want to be in Madrid where I have no idea what the hell is going to happen? I mean, it's one bad game in Spain, and you can ask Jude Bellingham how it goes. It's one bad game in Spain. You can ask David Beckham how it goes. If you're not a Spaniard, one game in Spain and you're toast. And he puts on a performance like we've seen him. The kid is going to be torn apart. It's a World Cup here. You want to start for Tuchel. You want to play for the England team. Do you make a move like that? I think it's risky. And the kid hasn't come out and spoken. And he, his celebration and all that, we don't know what that means. Maybe he's just saying, let the media run its course and talk, and I know what I'm going to do. Maybe he's waiting to see what happens with Virgin Mo. Maybe he's waiting to see what happens at the end of the season. We don't know. But he hasn't come out and said, I'm out. Yes, Ornstein or whatever his name is came out and pretty much said, Verge is done, Mo is done. Doesn't look very good for Trent. He did come out, but that guy's a mouthpiece. I don't fully always trust him.
That's what we're getting on night, and I think Trent backs himself to go anywhere and play well in Spain. So I think he backs himself. I don't think he cares about the criticism. He gets enough criticism in this country. All I'm saying is, though, Tim, I want the club to be given the power back. Trent has
at what cost? I mean, what cost are you willing to? I know what you're saying, but at what cost do you want to do that?
How much does it cost? All right, then. So say Liverpool go and sign Frimpong. How much does he want? He wants 200 grand a week anyway, and you've got to give him 60-80 million to buy a Leverkusen for him. So, do you know what I mean? You're probably at the stage where I'd rather. Sometimes the right answer is in front of your eyes. Sometimes the answer is just there; it's not on the outside. That's all I'm saying, mate. I don't know what the answer is. All I'm saying is I would like the club to go in 2 years' time and have the power to go, Trent, this hasn't worked. You know what I mean? You're not getting any better. And we've had, Real Madrid. Carvajal has officially finished at Real Madrid by then. You know what I mean? And then 60-80 million or whatever it's going to be, we'll take that money. Thank you very much. Do you know what I mean?
Carvajal is like the James Milner of Spain.
Oh, man. He never leaves.
He's going to go to like he's 45 or something like that.
He'll never leave.
Unreal.
He's never taken that Saudi money, is he? No.
Yeah, and he gets injured. He breaks his leg 7 times a month, and he comes back like, "Sup, guys?" Like as if nothing just happened, sprinting like, "Woo!" I'm like, "Okay, wasn't your leg broken?"
He comes back, and everyone goes, "We might need 3 months to warm into it." No, he needs about 10 minutes.
Here's the thing we're coming back to though with the transfer deal. Do you think? Okay, I think it's a no-brainer that any manager would want Van Dijk, right? That's a no-brainer. I know there's a manager. I think with just the professionalism alone, I think manager would want Mo and stuff.
Of course, yeah.
Yes.
Having listened to Slot in the past, like when he talks about tactics and stuff like that, he has clearly said when you have a guy like Trent, you have him do this. When you have a guy like Trent, when you have him do this. Do you guys think, though, in the back of his head, he would rather not have a guy that he has to worry about the defending part of blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's very possible. I'm not saying it is. I'm sure he would love the passing. But do you think in the back, especially a guy who's very worried about control, Kazi, like control the ball and stuff like that, do you think he says, this is great, I'm going to milk the hell out of it while I have it, but I would rather have this?
Great question. And we don't know. That's the one thing.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't know. I would say he probably thinks I could just do with a standard right back. But what Trent provides you, our midfielders can't. So if you go and get you want to go and get a standard right back, you need to go and find midfielders who can pass a ball.
Yep.
Because guess what? Only McAllister can really pass a ball.
Yeah.
So the others can't. And that is, I always think, is a big, big problem. And that's another guy who definitely can't
That's
pass a ball.
another guy that cannot pass the ball.
So
Yeah.
this is the point, right, that I have here. So Slot might just go, get me a right back, but I need to go and find two midfielders who can spray passes for me, who can do what a midfielder's supposed to do. And I think that is a really hard thing to have, because then you're rebuilding the whole midfield, including maybe signing a left winger and a striker and a left back and a centre. And it's just too much work at the moment, Tim. Do you get what I'm saying? That's why I think if you're Liverpool, you might just go, you know what? We just do him for give him the 5-year deal, 2 years in. Liverpool have signed 2-3 midfielders that all suit, who can all contribute 10 assists a season. Then you can go, you know what? We'll just go and sign a right back who can defend better. And maybe just do that. But again, this is the point. Re-signing Trent on a big deal buys time. It buys them time to figure the midfield out there, because you've got to get passing from somewhere. Our midfield is very functional. I think actually the argument is you go and sign a boss number 6 alongside Gravenberch, one of them, and you push McAllister in the 8.
Okay, yeah.
And you do Szoboszlai and McAllister as the interchangeable ones, because I love McAllister in that forward role where he plays for Argentina, and he's fantastic for Argentina.
But that's what scares me the most.
Which one?
That Szoboszlai is going to get benched?
No, not even close. Not even close. Absolutely not close. He can fuck off and get benched. I'm more scared that Real Madrid will come in guns blazing for McAllister.
But,
it is what the Spanish media has been writing for the past few weeks.
They've said this about Virgil van Dijk, and they said this about Mo Salah for years.
They're losing Modric.
I know all that.
They're losing Tchouaméni. Camavinga isn't working out as he is, and only Jude is the valid midfielder. Real Madrid is going through a midfield rebuild, especially considering Ancelotti's out, and very likely Zidane is coming back in. That team is in need of a midfielder, and McAllister is a top target, and it scares the shit out of me.
Okay. Every single football player is for sale.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's for sale. So if you give me 100 million for McAllister, fella, we're all sitting here going, you know what I mean? So let's have this correct. It's going to cost you some money, because you spent 80 million on Tchouaméni or something daft winning Camavinga, and you spent unbelievable money on these type of players. You spent 100 million on Jude Bellingham. So we want the 100 million from McAllister. So you can't think like that. All I'm saying is, I think your best suited is getting McAllister further up the field, because he's the only one who's got that little cheeky passer inside, that little one who can be a little jinky for a forward player.
And his shot is going in the net, unlike every other midfielder we have.
That's the party. He's probably our best goal scoring threat from midfield. He's our best goal scoring threat. Like, remember this header against Spurs and stuff like that, which sets us off on the way.
Smallest guy gets the header.
So I'm just like, all I'm saying is, going back to the Trent argument, Tim, you need to find someone that you can pass a ball in midfield. And I think it might be harder to find a really talented midfielder. By the way, every football club wants a talented midfielder. As Anand just said, Real Madrid need 3 of them. Yeah. There's an argument that City need 2 of them. With De Bruyne leaving, Rodri, we don't know, Bernardo Silva, they're going through a midfield rebuild. So these type of players are really going to get more and more difficult to find. So I just think sometimes it's better the devil you know. Get Trent in and go, we'll just deal with the issues, what Trent has. We'll take him for on the ball. So give us 2-3 years to get the midfield sorted, and then we can go with Trent from there.
So speaking of which, are we signing a 6 or are we sticking with Gravenberch?
I think we're signing
a 6.
So do I.
Good.
Well, I mean, not desperately need a Fabinho 6, but I think we're signing another Gravenberch type.
I
want a Fabinho 6. I don't want another Gravenberch type.
I don't think Scott wants a Fabinho 6.
I think there's a hybrid between this. I think we're going to sign like a Fabinho 6, but I think there'll be a lot of Gravenberch doing the 2-8 role.
More like a Rodri kind of guy, like a big dude still, but that can pass the ball.
Yes, and then to Gravenberch for 20 minutes when you're chasing games for Gravenberch to go, just go and stand alongside Szoboszlai and McAllister for me, and I'll do this on my own. Yeah. Where he has done that with Endo a few times, a couple of times at least. He's done this with Endo, but Endo he doesn't trust. So I think he'll want that basic physical stature kind of player, or that player who can do that role for him to get Gravenberch further up the field.
It does look like Endo's going nowhere next season. There's a Japan tour based on Endo. You can't convince me otherwise. You can't convince me otherwise. We decide to go to Japan when we have a Japanese guy with the most expensive fucking lounge in the Premier League, the Japan Airlines lounge, the most expensive out of every single team. £2,000 to go there. And the view is shit, but it's just the Japan Airlines lounge.
I just think there's a part with Endo. He's on 50 or 60 grand a week. He's got a year left. You know exactly what you're getting about him. Yep. He's a professional. He's happy with his place in the team. He's happy with what he's doing. Why not? So just he's not a problem. Endo's no longer a problem. Endo's played himself out.
It was a solution at this point.
He is a
And
solution.
I think that's another thing. Slot has figured out that, hey, when I have a lead to protect, this is the guy to bring in. So I
Slot's
think
working this out,
there's
and
that
again,
trust in him that to protect the lead, this guy can come in and do it.
the last 5-6 weeks, the manager's annoyed me a lot. Annoyed me, right? But what he has done, at least with Endo, he's figuring it out. The manager's entitled to make mistakes. He keeps saying this. He's entitled to make all the mistakes he likes. It's his first season. Klopp made loads of mistakes in his first season. Lots, right? But then got it together. This manager, the difference is this manager's 11 points clear, and he's going to win us the league when he's making his mistakes. So, for example, I think Slot has realised I need a deeper squad. I think he's realised, I can do this in the Hot Dutch League in terms of just having 15 players. But I think he's realised in the last few weeks, fuck me, if I'm going to compete here, I need a deeper squad. The quality in this league can just walk you all over the park.
He knew that. I still think we were talking about this with Matteo Monday morning. I think when he substituted earlier in the season and puts a guy like Costas in there and stuff like that, he just realized that, he just better depth.
Exactly.
More of his guys. Like he's
able
to have another A1 to put in to the guy that he's taking out. So if Robertson is coming out, the guy that comes in can do exactly what Robertson is doing, vice versa. So I think that's what he's figured out more than anything else. But
I just thought about this. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about. We were talking about Ben Doak earlier. What about Chiesa?
But this is
what are we doing with Chiesa?
But this is another part with Chiesa. You might look at Chiesa and go, first of all, he's in the last couple of games, he's starting to become an option off the bench. There's going to be a lot of fans who are asking for him a lot more now. Number two, Liverpool never losing money on Chiesa. Yeah. Chiesa's no longer a problem. He's played himself out to being a problem because Nunes and Jota have become more of a problem that he's got to deal with, and he might just go, I'll just keep Chiesa for another year. He'll do bits for me there, blah, blah, blah. And Chiesa can play along the front three, and he's just that nice little option for him. But also, if Juventus come in with the £20 million bid, thank you very much.
And I think it goes back to what we were saying. If the conversation happens with Mo early in the season and be like, hey, you're not going to be able to play 90 minutes every freaking game because this is what happens in April, March. So we're going to put Chiesa in 20 minutes here. He's going to get the start against Southampton or whatever the case might be. But there has to be a reason that he's not getting more minutes now. We don't know that part.
Trust issue.
Going back to what like Sir D's saying, like Trent just feels his relationship with Liverpool is going stale.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about that. I understand a guy wanting something different and all that crap. I kind of get. I don't, but I do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just think the way he went about this whole thing, it's not.
This is also a young boy who wants to experience the world. And listen, I know we want to come out and do the rat conversation, but put it all aside. Just for a second. Just put a second. This boy grew up, played for the club of his dreams, played for his childhood club, won the league, won the Champions League, won the cup. He's done I'm going to be honest here. And I know this isn't the nice solution, not nice thing to say because he's a rat. But listen, he's won everything for the club. He's done everything this club could ask for. Yes, we want him to stay. Trust me, I want him to stay. I would pay like $7 out of my pocket to keep him part of his contract.
Oh, don't go broke on us now. Okay.
But if he goes, is he really a rat? Is he really an ass? Yes. Is he really the evil guy? Yeah. In that sense, if he's going, yes. In the way he's going, yes. Yeah. But in a footballing sense, in the business side of it, he's done it all.
Okay.
He's given the club everything.
When you go around and say, I'm just a kid that got his dreams, blah, blah, blah. You can't have it both.
Listen. Mo Salah said he had a dream when he was playing in Egypt. He's in fucking Liverpool now. Okay?
Just listen. Anand, he's a rat for the way he's doing it. It's not a rat for what he's done. He's a rat for the way he's doing it, brother. You don't do what you're doing. You don't say what you say. Like, I want to captain Liverpool and be here for my old career and stuff like that, then leave on a free flipping transfer. And by the way, this leaving on a free transfer, Larky, it's even worse in this day and age when FFP is a big issue.
Yeah.
Well, Trent Alexander-Arnold cost us nothing. He's a £100 million player walking out the door for nothing. So it actually doesn't even give Liverpool the chance to go, give me that 100 million. Oh, by the way, it's all free profit and we're going to go and buy 6 boss ones. Do you know what I mean? You can't even give them that for the club that you adore and the club that you love and the you profess your undying love for. That's if what we believe is to be true. But as it stands right now, he's a rat. And what he should be thought of as a rat. Everyone calls Coutinho a rat. He signed a contract 6 months before he left and we got 100 million for him. And Coutinho gets a bad stick, but we can't say that about young old Trent. Can we?
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, how
Robert.
he's doing number one and what he's saying is not matching what he's doing number two. That's my thing with it. I mean, if you want to do that, that's fine and dandy. But don't go around and play the emotional part and say, oh, kids' dreams come true. I want to be a captain. I want to do all this stuff. And then play the other game in the background because then just go business. Then do what Van Dijk is doing. I want to stay here, but we'll see what happens. I would respect it a lot more than what he's doing for one. And if you're really all about the club, goes back to what Kazi's saying. Do I think a player like owes their club something to get in return and stuff? No, not in business sense, but you can't go around saying all that. If you're saying all that, then you do owe it to the club. And I'm not understanding that he did everything to the club. He doesn't either. It's not like he won it by himself. He's part of like a great team. He's a big part of it, but it's not like
one way to look at it, the corner wasn't even taken that quickly. So I get it. But the point is, he's gonna get so much hate, and I don't think he should get that much hate. As a Liverpool supporter, I am hurt. I am broken. I am sad. But it's just coming out this way and making him like the villain.
He is.
Is just not it.
He is the villain. He chose to be the villain. You either die a hero or live long enough to become the villain, I was told. And my God, he's lived long enough to become the villain, hasn't he?
He has definitely.
Tim,
I mean,
I just want to speak about
different schools of thoughts.
Tim, your little post that you put in our Discord that you wanted to talk about today, I think this is just really interesting.
Oh, man, that's going to take 8 hours. That was before Mo came out.
I know. Mo's thrown me all in.
What Scalioni was talking about? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. I've been thinking about this a lot.
I'll entertain the crowd for like another, because like I said, I figured we didn't have much, and we didn't even get to the West Ham game. Obviously, we're going to have.
Oh, shit, we got a game this week.
Yeah, we do have a game this week, but I will show. Hold on, let me put it on the screen over here.
Because I've been thinking about this a lot.
Because I thought it was very interesting based on. Like, let me screen share it so you guys can see it over here. But here we go. So this is from like Scaloni talking about players, how players are being trained now to basically pass it. The key thing I thought is, there are fewer dribblers because if they barely get the ball and you say pass it, imagine if Messi, when he was 8 years old, had been constantly told by his coaches to pass it. We wouldn't have him today. Football become a huge thing. Everyone reads, studies, and thinks that with that they can already manage. If you tell a 7 or 8 year old to make a diagonal run and cover defensively, he's 7 years old. Let him play with the ball, make mistakes, and when he's 14 or 15, then we can start correcting. While I understand what he's exactly saying, how much truth is there to it, Anan, that we are Hassan is by all the way to calling Chiesa a goal over there. I like the sound of that. But, how true is that, do you think, that we are kind of losing that in the sports and you don't have as many of those guys? Definitely not from Europe.
I think that is 100% accurate. What's that saying on Twitter all the time? Game's gone. I think game's gone. That utter woke bullshit, those memes. I am on board with all of those. I mean, you got people like me saying Trent isn't a rat for betraying his childhood club. Game's gone, bro. I mean, this is horrible. The coaching style. Everybody wants to be a Pep right now. I don't know if you guys go see kids soccer. Your daughters play soccer. You go see, and everybody wants to be a Pep who wants the tiki-taka, just pass, pass, pass. Individualism is frowned upon. Nobody can go on and try to take their man, and if they do, it's horrible. I think the game's gone when it comes to the flavor. Put me back in 98 or 2002 when we were watching Brazil and we were just enjoying the music that we were watching on the pitch. Even the French were playing beautiful football at the time. You had English players that were coming out. You remember how England was excited because Joe Cole did 2 step overs? Like, oh my God, he's the English Rivaldo. And I was like, guys, what the fuck? So I think from that sense, the game is gone because now everybody wants the 30 passes and then to tap it in the net. Nobody cares for the fun, the Joga Bonito style of the game. So I think I agree.
But that's because winning has become a bigger thing, Kazi. Yes. And to win,
the winningest teams were the most fun teams at the time.
But if you do what he's saying, right, let the 7, 8-year-old do what he's doing and then try to teach him after he's 14, 15, that's when you end up with players like Nunez. As opposed to
that's when we end up with Diaz, who will just try to beat the same guy 4 times.
There's a bigger party. I understand what he's saying. Now, football has changed a lot. So we know this. Let's get this right. Teams from the 90s wouldn't touch the ball compared to teams now. They wouldn't touch the ball. Brighton, this might be controversial, but the Brighton side will beat that United 99 side comfortably.
Yeah.
Right. That's just my opinion. Now, there's a part of this where, because the reason I've been thinking about this a lot, Gary Neville went really hard on the Manchester derby about the quality of teams and about teams just like passing it between each other and not too petrified. There's two parts of this. Number one, they're petrified to give the ball away. Yeah. They're petrified to lose the ball. Number two, the reason why they're petrified to give the ball, young Gary Neville, and by the way, for people who are listening, don't listen to what every Gary Neville says about Liverpool. A man who played his whole career for Manchester United, and his opinion on Liverpool should not be valid. Never retweet him. Never quote tweet him about what he said about Liverpool. We don't care. But what they're doing this about Gary Neville, mate, is because you overanalyze their performances consistently on Monday Night Football for when they give the ball away and they're out of position. You sit there and slated Ten Hag for 18 months. That team's not organised. The team is so disjointed. And as soon as Amarin gets them organised, like, these are too organised.
Yeah.
You can't have a fucking both ways, fella. Do you know what I mean? What do you want? Because you know what you're going to do? You're going to get your little fucking whiteboard pen out and you're going to go, oh, he should be standing 4 yards further left because he's done this. Why is he making that pass for? Robertson played a dangerous pass against Fulham, by the way. Really dangerous pass. And I've lost the game back. If that pass would actually went through to Gravenberch, Liverpool had like a 4-on-4. Yeah. It was that much of a dangerous pass. So we played a dangerous pass. What happened? We all battered him for the pass.
Yep.
So you can't have this both ways. You can't have otherwise, but Robertson just passes the ball back to Kelleher and we all go from there again. But he tried a dangerous pass to get Liverpool on the front foot and then we've overanalyzed them and all slated them. So what's the balance anymore? I don't know what the answer is. I just love when, since it's a Galoni's quote, he probably is correct, to get these type of players like a Wayne Rooney, at least like a street footballer, die at all costs. By the way, could Wayne Rooney play in today's football? I'm not sure. Because you can't just run around the pitch like a headless chicken because people just pass in your space and just ruin you. In that sense, very difficult to argue. But I've just been thinking about that a lot with what Gary Neville's been saying about how the football has changed. It has changed and it is a bit more boring. In effect, it has been. But the reason being is because, again, there's a tenfold to this. People are petrified to give the ball away because of people like Gary Neville. People are petrified to lose the game and be at fault for losing the game because they go on their social media and just see them getting absolutely battered. And death threats and everything that you get on social media posts these days and garbage. And then, of course, losing a game now affects so much money. By the way, players are built in to have win bonuses in their contracts. If they get the ball away, they've lost 50 grand. Yeah. Oh my God, the fucking team have just lost us 50 grand. By the way, I'll give the ball to Kanate, for example. When he gives the ball away as centre-half against Fulham, if they score off that, Kelleher's like, I've got a clean sheet bonus, you know. And you've just passed them the ball. What are you doing? So all this thing is all a bit of a build-up, I think, to a bigger, harder conversation, which you haven't really got much time for. But I just love the Gary Neville quote on the weekend of him going hard, going, that's not a Manchester derby, that's not how they should play. Everyone's just happy with this and that, don't want to give the ball away. Yeah, maybe because you'll be on Monday Night Football, absolutely slating them.
Gary Neville, the only thing he wants isn't United to play better or worse. He wants to keep his job on Sky. So he has to say shit that keeps the fans watching, you know, like saying something controversial for TikTok. I heard people do that. So it's like he's doing that to keep the job. And that's exactly what he is. He is just a sellout, really. But West Ham, do you guys think Chiesa starts? Because I'm reading a lot on Twitter that Chiesa could start.
It'll be the same 11 that he started against Fulham.
Fuck's sake. They're tired.
Bradley and Ali coming
Bradley and Ali. And his biggest question mark that I have is Curtis Jones starts centre mid. Because I thought Jones was tremendous when he went centre mid against Fulham. I thought he really helped us in the second half.
He moved the ball up the pitch.
I think it'll be Jones.
Yeah.
I think it's Jones.
I think the logic says McAllister and Jones.
So Gravenberch on the bench?
No, Gravenberch, McAllister, and Jones is the way it should be.
Roy's benched?
Yeah. He should be based on the way he fucking played last game. He didn't even play last game. He was just there. His hair didn't even move. That's how you know he didn't do shit. His hair
What I've had enough of, gents, is that Liverpool at home are having 70% of the ball, and we haven't got a midfield like a Jones or an Elliott in that 8 role, who are just going to pass the ball forward. And I've had enough of the Szoboszlai thing. It doesn't work at all. It does
feel like a good game for like an Elliott or Jones to, you know, like in terms of like passing between the lines and do something and not just run. Basically.
Exactly. And that's the point again with Salah on the weekend. Everyone goes, Salah was so bad and stuff. I thought Salah was great for 20 minutes in the second half. Thought he was really good. Once Bradley came in.
He got the ball, exactly. Because before that, he was just walking, waiting for the ball. And he's like, hello, I'm here.
what no one's speaking about though, and he makes an unbelievable pass for Jota, you know. It's a lovely little pass, and then Jota goes one-on-one. It's a lovely, because he's really tight with the defender. He makes that little dinky little pass to him. Should score. So we can probably walk off and go, I feel like I've contributed there. Elliot hits the bar. But Elliot was great when he came on. I'm getting to the stage though, Tim. I don't know what you guys feel. I always feel like sometimes with subs, if they come on and play well, they deserve a start. And I don't know what more Elliot can do to get a start. I just don't know.
And I'm always torn on that because the situation is totally different. And we've seen the other. I think that's what the manager is running into. We've seen it when you start. It's not the same. It's one thing to come in when you're chasing a goal. The other team psychologically is leaning back a little bit more. Everybody looks a bit better.
Yeah,
right? I know what you're saying. Like, you see some of the things Elliot is doing. Not for Chiesa. I don't understand what people see from Chiesa that they say, oh, he should start, because that's not the case you're going to have when he starts.
Don't go there. Don't go there. He comes on for 5, 6, 7, or 20 minutes, and he at least gets a shot on target. He's directing
that's because he doesn't pass the ball.
Tries to get What do you mean he doesn't pass the ball? He almost had 2 assists. 2 assists in his last 2 appearances.
He wants it, okay, but that's not the same thing. This is what I'm not understanding. That's why I asked it in
3 minutes and 40 seconds, and you go on target. Is Jota was there for 75?
No. Don't give me that. He did the same shit in the Plymouth game. He did the same shit in the PSV game. He feels like he has to make an impact, and it affects how he plays.
So you're telling me what he does is trying to show that he's making an impact?
You guys would give him shit forever when Diaz dives in between 2 guys. He goes into, and he tries to make an impact. And I understand he only has 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and he's trying to make it. But I feel like he hurts his cause. When I hear everybody asking for Chiesa, that's why I asked you guys on Discord, like, are you guys seeing the play? Or do we say, hey, man, maybe if this guy played 20, 30 minutes more, he could do more. I think he should get more minutes because maybe he won't play like that. But he's hurting his cause. When you come in and that's what you do.
Have you considered option number 3? That the other 2 guys that are playing ahead of him haven't done fuck all, so we should try something different. Have we considered that Jota? We have lost 5 games in the last 12 months. Jota started 4. We were scoreless in 3. Have you considered that Nunez, who I love, hasn't done fuck all to earn that position?
I mean, let's just start Ali center forward then, because he scored a goal. Let's see what happens. I don't understand
but that's not his position, is it?
Let's try something different thing.
Okay.
Because it's not working. If the 2 strikers that we have playing week in, week out aren't scoring or doing anything right, why don't we try the guy who came on against Newcastle and in 9 minutes got a goal?
Based on your calculation?
I'm gonna.
Mo has shown this season that he scored 30 plus. You're comparing him to Nunez and Jota with 0.
At the same time. Go ahead.
I'm gonna get a gavel soon. Like,
I'm not saying 2 things at the same time, so it's impossible to argue a guy who has 2 separate and conflicting arguments.
I think there's a part of this. I'd love to see the manager try something new with Chiesa. I think we all agree on that. I would like to see that for more minutes. Tim, I kind of agree what you're saying a little bit, right? Where sometimes he rushes to play. Sometimes I just want to make a simple little pass. Sometimes I get that. And I actually see your point. I actually think he's a threat every time he's come off the pitch. He looks like a threat, which is nice to see. I thought he changed the game against Newcastle, of course, in the cup. Never mind because he scored. I thought he was really what we needed at the time, was a bit of energy up front. Right now, Liverpool, I would say, especially up front, lack energy badly. And what Chiesa can provide for that. But I just don't think the manager will just not do it at this stage of the season. With Liverpool 11 points clear, going for the league title in his first ever season, I don't think he wants to try. And I think he likes his favourites. And I think he's going to stick with his favourites. And I think, again, his favourites is the 15 players, and I don't think Chiesa is a part of those 15 players. And I think that's just how it is right now.
I would like to see him get, like 20 to 30.
So would I.
In the sense that, we know what we get with them.
Yeah.
Where he's not so pressured to produce instantly.
Yeah, but
that's where I am.
We are saying that because we don't see him. But the manager is seeing him on the practice pitch every single day. Like, we might not see it, but he is.
He did say, though, the manager did say last week in this presser, or 2 weeks ago in his presser, that he's not really seen a lot of them because if he doesn't get on the pitch, those lads who don't get on the pitch at all, do their own separate training session, and he does another training session. So the manager said that, and it's hard for them to come into my plans. He did say that. But now there's a point to this, though. I just think, gents, with Chiesa especially, he doesn't want to roll the dice, and I get why he doesn't want to roll the dice on him. And because Jota can just do what Jota does against Everton. He can just do that and win the game like that. And he knows that. Jota should score against Fulham. Has to score. 1-1. Has to score. That's bad.
I actually thought when it was Jota, I thought that was Zen.
Oh, I thought it was. And by the way, that's on like the 47th minute. Like Liverpool got back to 3-2 on the 47th. I think Liverpool win the game. So what do you do though when you have that type of player? Like a Jota, you can just go, we'll win you the game like that. It's very difficult for them to go, I don't know when that game is. I always remember something with Rafa Benitez. Jamie Carragher mentioned this. He said, Carragher went to see him over Luis Garcia once and go, he's fucking doing my head in. And Rafa said to him, listen, I know he's going to play well, unbelievable, 1 and 5. He said, but I don't know when the 5's going to be, the 1's going to be in the 5. I don't know when it is. It's the same with Jota. I don't know when it's going to be, but I know he's going to win me a game. So I've got to play him because he's going to win me a game eventually. I know after an hour if he's not, but I need to give him the hour to find out if he's going to win me a game. So I think that's what Jota is at the moment, and that's what I think affects Chiesa a lot as well. It would be really handy, I want to mention this, that Liverpool are going to be 2-0 against West Ham inside the hour, just to see if he does something different with Chiesa. So if Chiesa just comes on, looks like a different player. The difference is, though, lads, in the last 3 months, have Liverpool won a game comfortably? Genuinely, if Liverpool won a game by 3-4-0 in the last 3 months, I don't think we have.
Remember it now.
Like, you know, we had that run, we had that really difficult run. We had to 2-0.
Games where we won comfortably, but the scoreline didn't suggest
2-0, which is not comfortable in terms of scoreline. We need score. We really need scoreline in our favour to see what we're going to get out of Chiesa. We need the scoreline in our favour. You need Liverpool to have an unbelievable first half, win 3-0 in the first half against West Ham, which is definitely possible. And then you can just go to Chiesa, there's 30 minutes, says what I want you to do, and then see what he's like.
Yeah, where he would come on just to play with the team rather than do something, figure it out. And he's like, okay, I got 3 minutes, 40 seconds. I got to dribble through everybody, score a goal so I can be the highlight so I can play next game. It's very different with the mentality with how much time you get to play. What's
killing Chiesa as well, the last thing on killing them, which why I don't think he'll play, Liverpool play once a week. Play him once a week.
Yeah.
Because we're at the
but here's my argument to
whole,
what you guys are saying about Chiesa. Look at Elliott.
I think Elliott should start.
Come in, play within whatever is happening, still take your opportunities, get goals, hit the post, take shots on goal, but still not dive in between 3 guys to make an impact. It's not like
but the biggest difference is Elliott is getting more minutes.
Yeah, you could
argue a whole lot. I mean, more.
Well, Chiesa has with the Newcastle game. Chiesa got 11 minutes in the last month. Just in PSG, Elliott got double that in the second game. So it's I get what you're saying. And by the way, if you tell me definitely now, who would you rather start in their rightful position? Does Chiesa deserve more minutes or Elliott? To me, Elliott has to start because he's earned it. So Elliott, it's not a debate. I agree.
Elliott, though, I will say this, though, Tim. Elliott's played that role for 2 years.
That's fair, but I'm just saying because maybe he is getting more minutes because he is doing that. I don't know if that's the case or not. I'm just saying, do you have faith in bringing in a guy that's going to continue the team play and not involve everybody else and not
and we can agree that Elliott is a proven game winner, whether it's PSG or before or after. Elliott's a proven game winner, so I think the kid should get fucking more minutes also.
I think you'll see more out of Elliott in the next 2 games. I think Leicester away feels like an Elliott game for me because you're going to have lots of the ball. Leicester and Leicester, man, Jesus Christ, they're bad. So I just feel like, you know what I mean. I know
rude.
Well, yeah, there you go. But I just feel like
the way it says each. I mean, every player.
I agree.
To this
That's why I said
I would like us to seal the deal so that we get. But I mean, like I say, us seeing more minutes is not the same as Slot seeing more minutes.
Yeah, and by the way, nobody's overreacting when we're complaining. We're just wishing for more players that we like to see. This is not a react. Nobody's upset. If Chiesa doesn't get a single minute, he can fuck off. We're winning the league. Like I don't give a like. These two do not correlate.
I'll sell Mo Salah tomorrow. If you look
we're winning the league. Yeah, I'm happy. We've gone this far without needing Chiesa. I don't need him tomorrow either.
I think the reason why we're having this conversation for the people who are listening is that we just look a bit jaded, they look a bit tired, they look a bit, I don't know, we just don't look the same in the last 4 or 6 games, whether that's tiredness, whether that's complacency. I don't know. We haven't looked the same.
I think it's more complacency. I guess we'll find out tomorrow when they had a week off. To me, it's a big
week. It's a big game. It's the contracts. The players were angry.
Oh,
the contracts are sorted. We are so back.
I think Mo Salah's going to be unbelievable against West Ham,
7 goals against West Ham.
Okay, predictions for the West Ham game before we head out over here.
I'm going to go out there 4-0 Liverpool. I think we're going to win comfortably. That's a mutual respect.
3-0. I'm saying Ali's back. We keep a clean sheet.
I'm going to say, by the way, I want to say 4-0. But if Gallagher's in goal, 4-1 Liverpool.
That's exactly why I said Ali's back is 3-0. But if Gallagher's in goal, it's like 7-6.
I love you, Steve. I love him,
Yeah, you guys are not complaining. I'll go with the Timuchin special. I'll go with the 3-1.
And
Yeah.
today at 3:00 Eastern time, Valencia are playing Sevilla. If you want to see Marmalade, who had an absolutely fire game.
Before we wrap up, though, I want just yes or no's on you. Bradley right back?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Canate, Virgil, Robbo, we all agree. Oh, is Jones starting centre mid? Yes or no, Tim?
For me, yes.
Is he
For the
starting?
manager?
Is he starting?
No.
No, for the manager.
For the manager, no.
No,
Tim,
no.
would you start him?
Would I start him? I would start him instead of, because I feel like this is a game we're going to have the ball a lot. I would start him instead of Sabostai, but the manager won't. I think we go with the.
Okay, so you're going for your normal midfield three that we always see. Okay. Left wing, who you starting? Tim?
Diaz.
Who will the manager start?
Diaz.
So do I, because I think he's been unbelievable the last 2 games. And then up front, who's he starting? And who would you start?
He's fucking starting Jota, isn't he? It's fucking annoying, but he is.
Diaz on the left. You're automatically putting Jota. The only thing I can
Nunes.
see is Gakpo on the left. Diaz in the middle.
I think he's doing Nunes.
Because of the size on West Ham?
No, I just think he wants something a bit different. I just think he'll just think.
Turn off the offside setting in the game, so. Like,
yeah, VAR.
Street rules, no offside.
Yeah, no offside.
I think he does Jota.
I want it to be Jota, but I just think he might do Nunes. I think that might be his cheeky one that he throws in. I don't think it might be Jones. I want it to be Jones, but I think his cheeky one could be Nunes. I'd do Nunes.
Did we get any good news from the Brentford game on Saturday? Because I thought that doomed us on Sunday.
Do you know what, mate? This is actually something I want to mention. I know we're going over here, but what does Arteta do here? Because do you twist or stick? Because if you twist, you've got to do 8 changes, haven't you?
Yeah, if I'm Arteta, I'm rotating.
I don't think you will. I think he's a weirdo.
I need Arsenal to go to the Champions League final. That's what I know.
I want Arsenal. The deeper Arsenal go, the better it is for Liverpool.
Yes,
I was made
need him in the final.
I was made up that they beat Real Madrid like that. I was so happy.
I celebrated Declan Rice like a. Oh, that was going to be racist. I celebrated Declan Rice because it was a good goal.
I don't know where that was going to go, but
I'm not going to. No Rice comments.
I'm wrapping it up. Tim, wrap it up, fella.
Yeah, before we go into dangerous territory with a non-over here. Yeah, honestly, if they lose points to Brentford and we win, I don't give a damn who wins the Champions League because the thing will be over this weekend if you gain like suddenly 5 points on that 11 points or whatever the hell the magic number is now. But we'll be here for the pre-match bright and early on a Sunday, mind you. So we'll be here for that. Do tune in for that. Have a great Saturday. Enjoy your Brentford win if you can. And we'll see you guys on Sunday. Take care.